Love English podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Love English podcast. We are here to help you learn English for your real life in a simple and natural way. I'm your host, Leo.
And I'm Emma. It's so wonderful to be here with you all. This is a safe space for you to learn, so we will always speak slowly and explain everything. Leo, I had a difficult conversation yesterday. A close friend of mine lost her job, and I didn't know what to say.
Oh, Emma, that is tough. And that situation, not knowing what to say when someone has bad news, is the topic of our episode today: how to express sympathy. Sympathy is the feeling of being sorry for someone else's sadness or problems.
This is such an important topic, but it's also very scary. I think many people, not just English learners, are afraid of saying the wrong thing and making the situation worse.
That's completely true. And that brings us to the most important rule, the golden rule of expressing sympathy. Your job is not to fix their sadness. You cannot fix it. Your job is to show you care. Your job is to be a supportive friend.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Your job is to show you care. So with that rule in mind, what is the first most important phrase we should learn?
There is one phrase that works for almost every bad situation. It is simple, safe, and always appreciated. That phrase is, "I'm so sorry to hear that."
I'm so sorry to hear that. It's perfect. It doesn't offer advice. It doesn't say you understand. It just shows that you are sad because they are sad.
Exactly. Let's imagine a few situations. My friend tells me, "My cat has been sick all week." I can say, "Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that." Another friend tells me, "I failed my exam." I can say, "I'm so sorry to hear that." A colleague tells me, "My flight home was canceled." I can say, "That's terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that."
It really is a magic phrase. So after we say that, what comes next? Is it enough to just say that one sentence?
Sometimes it is, but often we can add another short phrase to validate their feelings. To validate means to show that you understand their feelings are normal and okay. For example, after "I'm sorry to hear that," you could add, "That must be so difficult," or "That sounds really hard."
That must be so difficult. This phrase shows empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand how someone else is feeling. You are imagining their situation and you are telling them that their sadness is reasonable.
Let's practice. My friend tells me I didn't get the promotion at work that I really wanted. A promotion is a move to a higher level job. I would say, "I'm so sorry to hear that. That must be so disappointing." Disappointing is the feeling of sadness when something you hoped for does not happen.
That's a perfect response. You showed you cared and you named the feeling, disappointment, which shows you understand. Let's talk about another key part of showing sympathy: offering help.
This is a great way to show you care, but we need to be careful. The most common question is there anything I can do? This is a very kind question.
It is kind, but sometimes it can be hard for the sad person to answer. They are so stressed, they don't know what they need. So sometimes a more specific offer of help is better.
Can you give me an example of a specific offer?
Let's say your friend's mother is sick in the hospital. Instead of just asking, "Is there anything I can do?" you could offer something specific. You could say, "I'm going to the supermarket later. Can I pick up some groceries for you?" Or, "I'm making a big pot of soup tonight. Can I bring some over for your family?"
That is so thoughtful. A specific offer is easier for the sad person to say yes to. It takes the pressure off of them. Another simple but powerful offer is just to offer your time. You can say, "I'm here for you if you want to talk," or simply, "I'm thinking of you."
"I'm thinking of you" is such a warm and gentle phrase. It means that person is in your thoughts. It's especially good for a text message or a card.
Now, Emma, I think it's time to talk about the things we should not say. This is just as important as knowing what to say.
This is maybe the most important part of the lesson. What is the number one mistake people make?
The biggest mistake is saying, I know how you feel. We often say this because we want to connect with the person. We want to show them we understand. But the truth is, we can never know exactly how someone else feels.
That is so true. Everyone's experience is different. When you say, I know how you feel, it can sometimes make the person feel like you are minimizing their pain. To minimize means to make something seem smaller or less important. It's much better to say, I can't imagine how hard this must be.
I can't imagine how hard this must be. That shows respect for their unique pain. What's the second big mistake, Emma?
The second mistake is trying to find a bright side too quickly. This is when people say, look on the bright side, or at least. For example, if someone says, I lost my job, and you say, well, at least now you have more free time.
That can be very hurtful. It feels like you are not letting the person be sad. The first step is to let them feel their sadness. You can't rush it. The bright side can come later, but not in the first moments of sympathy.
I agree completely. And the third big mistake?
Making the story about yourself. Let's say my friend tells me that his dog ran away. And I say, oh, that happened to me once. My dog ran away and I was so sad and I had to put up posters everywhere. Now, suddenly, the conversation is about me, not about my friend.
This is a very common mistake because people are trying to relate. But again, it takes the focus away from the person who needs support. The best thing to do is to keep the focus on them. Ask them questions. Oh no, when did he run away? Have you called the local shelters?
Okay, so a quick recap of what not to say. Number 1, I know how you feel. Number 2, look on the bright side. And number 3, don't make it about you. This is so helpful.
And all of this leads to one final very important skill, listening. Sometimes the best way to show sympathy is to say very little and just listen. Let your friend talk. Let them share their story. You can just nod your head and say small things like, I see, or that's awful.
Being a quiet, focused listener is a powerful gift. It shows that you are there for them completely. Now, let's do a couple of role plays to practice this. First, a simple one. Emma, imagine your friend tells you, I have to work all weekend on a big project. I'm so stressed. What do you say?
Okay, I'm the supported friend. I would say, oh no, that sounds really stressful. I'm sorry you have to do that. Remember to take some breaks if you can.
That's perfect. You showed sympathy, you validated their feeling of stress, and you gave a small, kind piece of advice. Now for a more serious one. I will be the friend. Emma, I have some sad news. My grandfather passed away this morning.
This is a very serious situation, so my response should be simple and sincere. I would say, Leo, I am so sorry for your loss. That's heartbreaking news. My condolences is another very formal and respectful phrase you could use here.
Thank you, Emma. That feels very kind. Now, what would you say next?
I would probably pause and just be silent for a moment. Then I would say, I can't imagine what you and your family are going through right now. Please know that I'm thinking of you.
That is perfect. You did not ask a lot of questions. You did not say you know how I feel. You just showed that you care.
And then maybe a little later, I would make a specific offer. Please don't worry about work at all. And I mean it. Is there a good time for me to drop off some food for your family this week? No need to reply now. Just let me know if it's helpful.
Thank you, Emma. That role play shows how all the pieces fit together. It shows how to be a truly supportive friend.
I agree. So let's do our final summary for our listeners. The golden rule is that your job is to show you care, not to fix the problem. The magic phrase is, "I'm so sorry to hear that."
Remember to validate their feelings with phrases like, "That must be so hard." And if you offer help, try to be specific.
And remember what not to say. Don't say, "I know how you feel." Don't try to find the bright side too early. And don't make the story about you.
And finally, remember that listening is a powerful form of sympathy. This is a very deep topic, and we are so proud of you all for learning about it. It will make you a better friend and a more confident English speaker.
Thank you all for joining us for this important episode of the Love English podcast. Be kind to each other.
We'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening to Love English Podcast. Remember, every minute you spend learning English is an investment in your future. Keep learning and see you in the next episode.